Thank you for coming. I'm so excited to see you all. I think that this panel is going to be something like really, really special and exciting. I think it is so cool for a brand as big as Coach to be doing something like this that is actually rooted in like real artist storytelling and being vulnerable about the things you have been through to get to this point. And in the grand political climate of our world and all the things going on, to see a brand like actually doing something for pride and stuff is very, very special and meaningful to me. And these guests have some very, very interesting stories to tell you. Our first guest is an actress I am extremely, extremely fond of. You might know her from things like Heartstopper, Doctor Who, but what is most impressive to me about Yaz is the way that she got her start making TikToks and talking about the experience of being a Black trans woman in the UK, and I think that is such an insane story and piece of diversity that we don't get to see in film and television often, and to see how much she has accomplished and not just broke down a barrier, but kicked a hole in the wall. You know what I mean? Is I think so cool. So please give a warm welcome to our first guest, Yaz Finney.
Hello.
Take a seat. Get comfortable. Here apparently.
Oh, thank you.
You get in there. You get in
Go
there.
to the middle. I'm gonna go to the middle.
That's right. That's right. Our next guest is, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's his birthday. It's his actual birthday, and he did not. I found this out an hour ago, and I think that's very, very special and sweet that he would be willing to spend his actual birthday here with all of us. Hey, Destin is, I think, one of the most impressive rising artists in R&B. You might know him or recognize him from his recent album Whimsy or his Best New Artist nomination at the BET Awards, but also has a very fascinating story about building as a creative on the internet that I'm very, very excited to dive into and learn more about. So please give a warm welcome to Destin Conrad. Our third guest is somebody who I think has challenged the norms of music in just about any way you can, in a way that is so cool to me. Towa Bird has created such an interesting sound, and I think when you think of alternative rock and Brit rock and pop punk, every single one, most people think of a man. And I think to see a queer woman occupying the spaces that she has, and not just occupying, succeeding and excelling in them, getting to do things with Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, she just released her second album, which we were gonna talk about, don't worry. Please give a warm welcome to the one and only Towa Bird.
Hey.
Hello, please take a seat. Did
I steal your seat?
Hey, girls.
No, there was no seats.
Okay.
There truly was no seats. I really feel for the themes of this event, I want to start at the foundation. I want to start at the beginning with each of you. I think something really, really cool about everyone here is that you all kind of got your start on the internet in some way. Very, very different for all of you. But I think that's so beautiful. You know, I saw some statistic recently that was talking about how the number one reason creative people or artists don't start is because the fear of being perceived and the fear of failure. So I would really love to go down one by one and talk about that experience in the beginning. How did you get over this fear of being seen and to be perceived? Let's start with you, Destin.
I feel I'm still getting over it, honestly. It's it's active fear, but I didn't know for a long time that I wanted to be an artist. I thought I wanted to be a songwriter, and I feel that was kind of the fear kind of creeping in. I feel I didn't, I was just scared. I was just scared, yeah. That's something that stopped me from doing it earlier, if that makes sense. But yeah, still fear.
But I think that's beautiful, and I think that's a beautiful answer of it doesn't go away, you just do.
Yeah.
At some point you just get over the feeling of it all and you put your thing out. and realize people like it, and you keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Some days it's definitely easier. Some days I'm like, I'm invincible. And then other days I'm like, oh, I'm terrified. But I feel like when you do feel it, act on it, you know?
I like that. I like that. When you feel it, act on it. Yaz, what about you?
I agree. Some days are like, and I feel like I don't want to leave the house, and then some days for me are like, I feel on top of the world, but I feel like that's just like the human condition of all of us, which is like really enlightening to know that we all go through good days, we all go through bad days. I feel like the way that I started in the industry was through TikTok. That was like 2019 when it kind of just started popping off, and I was like heavily bullied in my high school. Like I didn't want to go to high school, and I was going through my transition, and I was like, who am I? So I would literally go into high school, have the worst day, come home, and look forward to making TikToks. And then I kind of built this community off of like making TikToks about like me basically having a time in school for being like feminine or being trans, and I built a real community of people that were going through the same thing. And it's interesting because it's like, you don't really know when you're in a small town. Like I'm from England, Manchester, if any of you know, but like nobody is queer or trans like at the time. And it was like, I needed to have an outlet. I needed to have a space, and I made my own space from such a young age, and it kind of set the trajectory for me to get to where I am now. And like, it's really important that I think you find your community within social media if you can. I know it's like got its good days, bad days. We compare ourselves, like we all do it, but it's also such a beautiful place to create and find community. And for me, that was it. I made my community, and I'm so grateful.
That's amazing. Towa, how about you?
Hey, first of all, the red. I clearly didn't get that memo.
Yes.
I'm just like, this is the elephant in the room, and I just need to address it.
But I
because
feel like it
down to
matches the
socks-
vibe. You
down
know
to
what
the
I mean?
socks.
Like, if there's one person who would be wearing just black out of this panel, like it's you. You know
You
what I mean?
guys made a
Right.
group chat
Very
earlier, and I
punk
wasn't
rock.
part of it.
Did you
was I?
guys
left
like
you out.
know? Did you guys like know that it was
We
giving
knew.
red?
I'm like,
Yes.
someone
Yeah.
planned
That's right.
something. This is.
We use our gay telepathy
yeah.
to communicate.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you wearing red tomorrow? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm not being gay enough because I'm not.
You're
I'm not
not.
hearing that to
I can,
not being gay enough.
we can fix you.
Yeah, thank you.
We
I
can
need to be
fix you.
fixed.
You're savable still.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
The question. Yes, the question. No, I'm still like, I'm not getting over. I'm under it. I'm under it. It's every day is just like continuing to try, and I think that the most important thing is even when you want to, and I know this is going to sound corny, but even when you like feel like you don't want to do this, and you put yourself out there consistently over and over and over again, and you don't get met with the reception that you necessarily feel like you want or deserve, I think the people that, the way that, what separates the people from good from bad is that you keep on grinding, and you keep on trying, and you keep on like believing in yourself, because that is the only thing that will hold us up in this endless sea.
No, I completely agree. And I think that, like, again, it's like very human to hear that, like, no matter how successful you get, like, fear is inevitable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no like one day you conquer fear. It is like you learn to move through fear. You know what I mean? And like holding yourself to some standard as if you're gonna like get over it is fiction. And I was talking to an artist one time, and she had this quote that I loved that was like, she's like, I'm an acquired taste. Like, the girls who get it, and the people who don't. But like, at the end of the day, at least I'm attracting more people like me. And I just like thought that was such a fascinating quote and great way to think about it. You know, you hear authenticity and all the things that like this in Living Loud, which is like what this entire content series Coach has been doing is about. You know, I feel like authenticity has become such a buzzword, but now I think about it as like, am I attracting more people like me? You know what I mean? Okay, I got nothing but questions for all of you, if I'm being honest, as we can tell by my thick stack of paper. But again, like going back to these feelings of fear and in the beginning, like, what was the moment where you felt extreme doubt and overcame that, and how did you do it?
What comes to mind right now is, so as I said, I wanted to write music before I decided I wanted to like be the face and like be the artist and like,
Yeah.
and I would put myself in sessions. And I remember like we were in like a group like writing situation, and I said something that was like bad, and the person that I was writing with acknowledged that it was bad, and I was like, I'm never saying anything ever again. I'm terrified. But that was a moment that I was just like, wow, like I suck. Like I'm horrible. Like this isn't. I'm not. No. But then I made a good song. And then I made a song. I was like, what? Like this is good, and I felt really good about it. So I feel like, yeah. What I was saying earlier is like, some days it really you can feel your absolute best, and then some days it's like it's just not hitting. But that's fine. I feel like we just have to like give ourselves grace and like know that that's just the reality of it, you know?
Yeah, again, like you just do.
Yeah.
Like it's not, I think a lot of people like develop goals based on outputs instead of inputs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, did my song get this amount of streams instead of like, how many songs can I write?
Or how did it make me feel?
Right,
exactly.
yeah, totally. Like, and I think that reframe of like, no, like my goal is to feel as creative as possible or to make as many things that are fulfilling to me as possible. And like the result is X amount, Y amount of success or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that. What about you?
I feel like I was like trying to think of like what's the hardest thing. Every day is a challenge, girl. Every day is a challenge. But I feel like I want to say it was when I flew to Washington D.C. by myself to do a speech at World Pride. It was like the first time I'd been in Washington. And going there by myself was quite scary. The lead up to the speech was also horrifying because it's like a gay festival. They just want music. They just want to like kiki. And I'm there like giving them this drama of what's going on in the world. But I did it. And I feel like it was the feeling of the fear that got me through. And I feel like that feeling is like we've all experienced it. And you have to like go through it, and like what's on the other side, you will like forever be grateful that you put yourself through that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm forever grateful that other people could see that it's possible, because we're each and every single one of us, we're setting an example to the next, whether we're like representing a version of ourselves that we don't feel most confident in. That version to some people might inspire them, and for me, I had to like see that and kind of go through it. And even right now, my heart is pounding, and I'm so scared. But yeah, we go through it.
You go through it, and I think there's a very thin line between like fear and adrenaline and like the rush of it all. And it starts one way, but it always ends the good way. You know what I mean?
Maybe not always.
Oh, wait, I disagree. Most of the time, how about that? Most of the time. Towa, how about you?
The question was doubt, right?
The question is a moment in which you felt extreme doubt about your path and how you overcame it.
Ooh. Man, I think initially getting started was when I experienced the most doubt. I still, like, as we have all said, experience so much doubt every day. Like, putting out this album, I was so scared. Putting out tickets for my tour, I was so scared. I was like, how am I going to fill these rooms? Like, who's going to want to come to my shows? But I think definitely starting my artist project and kind of bridging the gap from being a session-y musician, guitarist, touring musician, to wanting to be the person who's writing the songs, delivering the songs, singing the songs, playing the songs. Yeah, I think especially growing up not in the US, I found that a lot of my American peers are like they maybe grow up in homes where they were told like you can do it, and like whatever you want, whatever your dreams are, you can achieve those dreams. And I didn't necessarily have that narrative in the place where I grew up, and being a musician felt entirely unattainable, and just kind of like a bit of a fantasy. So I think deciding to do it and deciding to like commit to the artist thing, I like made a deal with my mom. I was like, give me 1 year and I'm gonna try and do something.
Yeah.
But essentially having to convince herself, and therefore me, even though I wasn't necessarily convinced that anything was going to happen. Yeah, I think that was very doubtful.
Totally, and I love the idea of like an intentional creative restriction. Like I have 1 year. I have to do it in 1 year. I think
Yeah.
is like weirdly helpful.
Sometimes the deadline is all right.
Yeah.
Sometimes the deadline's
So
good.
you got to light a fire under yourself a
Yeah.
little. You know what I mean? Or else you're just it's always going to be tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it wouldn't be a coach event without talking about like personal style and fashion and all the fun things that bring us all here together. I guess I'd like to start with you, Yaz. Like a specific question about acting. I think is so interesting to me. You know, like there's obviously this idea of, you know, personal style and what that means to you, but then there's also this idea of like fashion as a tool of storytelling for the character, and the way that you dress or you might express yourself is not the same way as a character, or sometimes they are very similar. Like, how do you think about fashion as a tool for storytelling when you are either reading for a role or character, or being the character and choosing and like, you know, meeting with the stylist? How does that come to you?
It goes back to the year 2015, when I was at my grandma's. I stole the heels, stole the dress, the lipstick, the rouge she had. I put it all on in this world of like, let me just play around and see how I feel. And as soon as I put this oversized dress on that was giving grandma, it was feminine, but it kind of gave me that insight as to who I am. And years later, like, it's the same thing. Like, you put clothes on your body, you feel it. You feel the way it makes you feel. It's a self-expression. It's a form of, like, being an artist and creating. And I think it's a beautiful thing. Like, it can really transcend waves. And also, like, when you're bold with your fashion, other people see it and they, like, radiate to it. Some people don't. Then you have, like, the people that you need, the people you don't need. Like, fashion kind of filters out the people that you don't want in your life, which is, like, you know, it's tea. Clock
No,
it.
I love that.
Yeah, for real.
Fashion as a filter is a great way to think about it.
Yeah, but yeah, for me, I feel like Elle in Heartstopper, she was very like, she's a fashion girl, she's an artist, she's a painter. Like, I got to play around with that, and that was really beautiful. And she got a lot of compliments, and throughout the season, she kind of elevated her style, and like, she blossomed into an adult, and you could feel that. And yeah, fashion is everything.
It is everything. I love what you said about the idea of it like starting a conversation too. I feel like it's like the ultimate like friend-making thing. Like how many times you go up to someone, I'm like, girl, you're serving. You know what I mean? And then 20 minutes later, you're best friends. Yeah. Destin and Towa, I would love to talk to you about like fashion as a tool for like world building as an artist. You know, I think you think like some of the biggest artists have a defined color and aesthetic and visual, and all of these things I think are like so intentional when it comes to like building an artist project. Dustin, I'll start with you, since you just had, both of you had an album recently. You guys got a lot going on. So tell me about it. I'll start with you. Like, what was your approach to fashion as a tool for world building as an artist with this project?
I mean, yeah, specifically for my last album, I put out a jazz album, and me and my stylist X, who's here, me and him just kind of like, yeah, just built the world and like, kind of like tried to incorporate what jazz feels like within fashion. So that's really what's been like my thing as of late, is just like figuring out what the genre looks like clothing-wise. And I'm making a reggae album, and I'm making a reggae album, and like it's like we're doing the same thing over again. It's just like the playing, and like I'm like pulling inspiration from like my uncles, and like I'm Jamaican, so it's like Jamaican brother, come on, hey. But like just like pulling inspiration from my family and like my lineage. I feel like that's been my thing as of recent too. But it's ever changing. Like the inspiration, the world, like it's constantly changing. And I feel like that's the fun part about fashion, is like even if you have a style and you have a identity, it's fun to push it and like play. It's just playing.
It is. It's like you're your own Barbie in a way.
Yeah.
And I love what you said again too, like the way in your eyes, like the way that like a jazz album looks versus the way a reggae album looks is like different and should appear different and feel different. And like part of that starts with how you present before the way the audience like interprets.
And also about how you feel in it too. It's like I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of awkward if I'm like playing these jazz clubs and I got on like a crop top and like, I don't know. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. I could give that, but like, I don't know.
It would
I
eat.
feel like it would eat. It's giving juxtaposition a little bit, but yeah, no, it's fun. Fashion is so fun.
Towa.
It's funny when it gets to me, I always kind of forget the question.
Okay, we're talking. I'm gonna start with you on the next one. I'm gonna start with you on the next one.
Question again, girl. No,
it's
I
like-
remember the question this time, actually. I was paying attention. I think, okay, so fashion as a means to express your music, I really loved what you were saying, and I think like with this last album, it's called Gentleman, and I really wanted the music to sound like what I look like, and the fashion to look like what it sounds like, and everything to be kind of intersecting in that way. And so it was really fun because this word gentleman is such a like very like traditional, like hyper masculine kind of word, and it was really fun to kind of play around with the boundaries of that in this album and kind of take something that is very trad and like reappropriate it to something that's much more like queer and soft and not super binary or boxed, and it was just something more free. And I mean, a huge way that you can do that is through fashion. So there was a lot of time picking fits, different color ties with different color shirts, just like I would start wearing those little tie clips, man. I was bringing those.
There's a picture of like two of you.
There was
there's
two of
you
me.
twice. Yeah. Lots of different styling.
Yeah, and that was really fun as well because I kind of my album cover is like two different sides of the same coin of Towa, kind of. One was like my natural curly hair, and one was like a little slick back moment. And yeah, it was just like so fun to do that, and I felt like that represented what the music on the album sounded like.
Yeah, and it's again, it's very like, not to use the buzzword, but it's authentic. It's like what also is the story of the album. You know what I mean? And I loved what you said too about like kind of understanding that something has a very rigid definition and box, but like using a word like gentleman and like intentionally like poking fun at it with fashion. You know what I mean? Of like, yeah, this is something that would be very like stereotypically masculine, but like that's the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting because the word is actually like gentle man. And it's like the gentle part of it is kind of already gives that like gender bending vibe to it. And I was like, oh, it's interesting that it became so like tough guy masculine when it's so gentle and tender.
Exactly. Gentle woman. That will be my album.
That's your album.
Concept album, making fun of your right. We'll do like a little back and forth thing.
Yeah, we'll talk after this.
Yeah, cool. I mean, this whole like series of this event is called Living Loud, and like what it means to be yourself very forwardly. You know what I mean? And not trying to hide these pieces of yourself, and understanding that like what is unique and different about you is what makes you interesting. And I think again, like there's so much of like, I feel like authenticity has become the buzzword of the year, you know what I mean? But I also think it's such an interesting thing because it is so real and true, and like the reason people connect with you as artists is many of the things that you've said already, like these unique stories and experiences that you've had. So how do you feel that you sort of, as you grow in your career, hold on to the dreamer before you became the artist? Like how do you stay in touch with that young, authentic, childlike self of you?
I don't know why I want to say my friends kind of remind me of that, especially the friends that I've known since I was a child. Like I feel like they are just reminders of who I was. And I feel like a lot of people, I was just having this conversation with somebody, I feel like a lot of people don't like to be reminded of who they were because they're not there anymore. And I get that. but there's also something really grounding about like somebody bringing up an old story and like it placing you where you were. Like, I think that's something that always like brings me back. It's like talking to my old friends, really.
I love that. Do you have that sort of anchor person in your life?
My dog.
Your dog.
Real.
What's your dog's name?
I have to pick up her 3 times a day, so there's nothing more grounding
Physically
than
and
that.
metaphorically.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. I would say literally my dog. Like, it's just me and her in London. We've been through it all, the thick, the thin. And she's my anchor. She's like, dogs are loyal. Does anybody have a dog here? Yeah, you get it. Like, it's that loyalty that I wish mankind could practice more. Unconditional love. Even when you've been awful and you've left them for hours, like, you'll come home and like they will still love you. Like, through the thick and the thin, truly. I would also say my mom, my mummy.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though we've had like war, we've literally had blood, sweat, and tears in our relationship. There's something really beautiful about understanding her struggle. When I transitioned, she saw a part of me that was dying, her son. But there was a beauty in seeing how she learned about the new version of me.
Yeah.
And how she was kind of surrendering to the fact that the old version of me was never really there. And our relationship is stronger than ever, even though, like I said, we've literally had blood, sweat, and tears. But it's beautiful to reflect on it and be like, wow, like, life really is funny, because I ran away from home. It was really bad at one point, and it goes to show that, you know, relationships can really, especially with family, if you're queer, it's tough. Like, family isn't always supportive. So I'm very blessed that my mom, like, sees through it all and loves me for who I am. But she is my anchor and my dog. Shout out to you, Coco. Love you.
Towa, did you forget the question?
No, I got it. I'm so locked
I'm just
in.
teasing. I'm teasing.
I think I also had a similar answer. Destin, Friends was the first thing that came to mind, but I also think like the beauty of an old record that you fell in love with when you were 15, 16 years old, like going back and listening to music after you haven't listened to it for a certain amount of time for years, and you get to remember who you were the first time you heard it. Or, you know, it can be a film, it can be music, it can be literally anything, a piece of art. But for me specifically, it's music, because that's my love. And so like listening to Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced, is gonna make me feel like I'm 12 again. And then
That's beautiful.
I'm reminded of the reason why I want to do this and the reason why I'm here. And that's really,
What was that reason?
be a rock star, man.
Hell yeah.
No, I mean, I just like, he's like my goat, Jimi Hendrix. So like, just watching videos of him play the guitar, and he just felt the music in his body, and it was like entirely his, and his voice was his own, and his songwriting was his own, and he was just so passionate. Like he would light his guitar on stage, on fire, and play with his teeth. Like he was, crazy.
Yeah, I
like,
also do that.
I know, I've seen you do that.
You know, exactly. Thank you so much.
I'm only bringing it up because I know that you also
I don't like
do
to
that.
brag, you know, I just like keep it like kind of hidden.
But yeah, just like the passion and love for music that he radiated, I was like, oh, that's something that I also want to harness. Yeah.
Do you feel like fashion plays a role in your like confidence as a performer?
Yeah, definitely.
How so?
The last show that I played here in LA was like, I went on in like a double-breasted suit, and then like halfway through the set, there's like a point where I have like an outfit change, and I like basically take off my shirt and my suit, and everyone's like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and I like, yeah, take off my shirt, and I'm wearing like a vest under, and that signifies kind of like a split in the set where the set then changes vibe. So even just the way that I'm presenting myself, the clothes that I'm wearing, it kind of like is an indicator to the audience that like, oh, we're shifting gears and we're moving into like the second act of the show.
Yeah.
And just like, it's exciting, you know?
Totally. So it's like that's cool. Like not just this idea of like it being like a tool for yourself, but also like, hey guys, we're switching gears. You know, there's a second act. Yeah.
This is the next part of the story.
That's very, very cool. Yes, going back to you, how do you feel like fashion kind of plays a role in this like confidence and authenticity in the way you present yourself?
No.
Elaborate.
No, I'm joking, of course.
Imagine.
Honestly, I wish, I wish people could start experimenting more with like just everything, like fashion, hair.
Totally.
For me, hair is like the main thing. I change my hair. I get new braids every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. Like it's a form of expression. Outfit is a form of expression. But yeah, put me in like a mini dress and I'm a different person. I'm doing cartwheels and and then put me in a suit and I feel
business deals,
business.
Accounting,
This is business.
transactions,
Transactional.
invoices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Girl
bills,
boss.
bills.
I'm catching. I'm feeling it.
Clock
feeling
that.
It. Yeah.
No,
Clocking in.
clock it. But yeah, fashion is everything.
Agreed. What they said. I feel like it's one of the first things that you see. Like when you look at somebody, it's like that's the thing. I feel like it's the easiest
Language.
Yeah, and it's universal.
Yep, I totally agree.
A good outfit is a good outfit everywhere.
Totally, and I also think like it's not even just, it's beyond just like fashion and outfits, it's like taste.
Yes.
Like I feel like you understand so much about a person, you know what I mean? Like, and even again, talking about even things like hair. Like I look at Towa and I'm like, she listens to Jimi Hendrix. You know what I mean? Like, and like that's part of the vibe. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the whole thing. And I love that. This idea again, like of you can be your own Barbie or video game character or whatever, and viewing it that way. I am very interested also in like this idea of, I think some interesting thing about, at least to me, to fashion is I feel like it's become so much of this like very repetition based, blank trend and this core and blah, blah, blah. And we've lost a lot of touch with like this idea of fashion as like a tool of like personal style, like personal to me, personal taste. And as you guys are creatives doing many, many different things in many roles or albums that could be completely different. We're talking about jazz to Jamaica. You know what I mean? Like, how do you play with fashion as this tool of personal expression while it also having to like change pretty consistently?
I mean, I think that's the part that keeps it fun, the change. I feel like I wouldn't want to keep wearing the same thing all the time. I really admire other artists that wear like costumes on stages or like have the same outfit, because I'm like, I would be so bored. Like I need to look at myself differently. Sometimes I need to like dye my hair and like bleach my eyebrows. I bleached my eyebrows the other day. It was horrible. I looked a mess. And I dyed them back, but like I needed to do that in that moment. It was like something I just felt the need to do. And
you get the urge.
I got the urge. And I scratched the itch, and it wasn't good. But sometimes you scratch the itch, and it eats. It's like a thing, like, like...
Totally.
So I feel like that's one of the best parts about being human, too, is, like, the fact that you just get to play, and, like, the world is just a playground. This is just fun.
Okay. Is there, like, a specific fashion trend that you're like, this is in, I want it to stay here forever, and then another one that you're like, I hate it, and it needs to go? I'm gonna make all of you answer this.
That's a hard question.
I love it.
Yeah.
Again, you learn a lot about a person.
I can think about what I like.
Okay.
Like, I love tabbies. Love tabbies. She had on some tabbies, and I said, I love those.
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
into it.
Yeah.
I feel like that can stay. I don't know what needs to leave, though. I got to think about it.
Have you seen the like the toe shoes.
Toe shoes, I'm into it too.
Yeah,
You don't
into
like it?
So I like the kind of like athleisure situation, like the gorpcore ones. I'm into those because
Yeah.
those feel kind of authentic. You're really walking outside and you're really touching grass for real.
Like you're active.
You're active, like you're moving.
Boots.
But then I saw that now they're kind of becoming more luxury. They're moving into the luxury space, and I'm like, that feels like not
like
yours.
keep it outside.
I'm like that. Yeah. Like keep it to the girls outside.
Yeah.
I will go one step further, and I think that there's a lot of like fashion boys trying to bring back the flip flop, and it's like we gotta stop.
You're not into it?
We gotta stop it while we
I'm
can.
into it.
And you know, it's all about personal expression. But for me,
I don't want to see a
I
man's
do not
feet.
choose to express myself in that way personally. You know what I mean?
I feel like you would eat a flip flop, a jean flip flop.
See, I get it. It's like the very like early 2000s, like
Yeah.
mall vibe or whatever. But there's some guys that we don't need to see your feet, and you
I'm
know
scared.
it, and you know it.
Raise your hand if you're scared.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it.
Right. Point
You know
taken.
what I mean? You don't think you can hide from this question?
Ooh, girl, I was trying to hide away from this.
I could tell.
Well, I want to say something controversial.
Go ahead.
Please do.
Shake the room a little bit. No, it's not controversial. I feel my most confident when I'm wearing joggers and a hoodie, and the hoodie is over my head and it's like tied. And I'm being truthful. Like this, I'm kind of like, I feel confident. It's like something I can do once a year, or maybe like for a red carpet if I'm being paid. But like,
Only if the bag is there.
yes, I'm like, I need joggers and a hoodie, and I don't mind a flip flop either. I love a flip flop. Like, I'm flipping around in London all the time.
But I think that it's just exclusively the cis men
Correct.
that I'm like,
Yeah.
do
Correct.
not show me your toes.
Correct. Thank you.
Everybody
Wo-
else,
women-
toes out.
Towa coming with the
Well,
assist for
it's
me.
summer.
Yeah.
I need it back up there.
Let 'em breathe.
I know I was getting dragged. And I'm not saying for all people, but they're
Right.
maybe more than 50%.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Some men just don't deserve things, though, in general.
Yeah, some men
and
don't
that
deserve
should
things.
have been the theme of this panel. We could have just listed things we think they don't deserve. And I'll go first, you know, as like a man, unfortunately. But I, I am, okay, so like the whole like point of this series is, you know, again, like talking about coaches' mission is like very, very rooted in people being themselves. And I think that's a big part of Pride and obviously all of that, but I also think, you know, as artists in some way, like there is this simultaneously, like as a creative person, this fear of like people are perceiving me and I can't control that, and nobody's ever gonna understand the context of my life, while also this like simultaneously this like deep desire to be understood. And I think that's like why we make art sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like, I have this story to tell and like you need to understand this about me. How do you balance this like deep like need in your soul to be understood with also this like deep fear of like, what if they don't understand me?
Girl. I'm still learning. It's like being an actor is one thing, but also just being an artist in general. The art of how you're perceived is everything to me. And I think I'm a Virgo, so it explains half of it. But the other half, I can't tell you. I don't know why I care so much about how people like think I look or how I identify or how I speak or how I talk, but it's a constant thought in my head, and it's something that I think we probably all care about to an extent, but I take it to that next level where I'm like just spiraling and I'm like, oh no, I'm like to this, I'm to that. But I think that again is just the way, it's just the way we are, like as humans. Like we go through all these emotions and we're constantly like, some of us doubt ourselves. Like I think we've all experienced that feeling. We've all experienced the feeling of overthinking, and it's a normal thing. And instead of running away from it, maybe like I should just start going through the overthinking in me. Like, why am I doing this? Why do I care so much? And that's probably childhood trauma. But you get through it, and I feel like it's a constant battle. And the word balance is something that's constantly brought up to me recently, because I just go 0 to 1,000. There is no balance in my life ever. So like that 50-50 line is probably something I need to learn to start doing, like pacing myself a little bit, like taking it easy. Not everything is 1,000. Not everything is, you have to be, perfect all the time. Like, again, joggers in a hoodie, that is me now. And like, don't talk to me. You know what I mean? I'm very like in my zone of like, I need to disappear for a year and not be seen by anybody. It's the truth.
I kind of love that. And again, I also feel like emotions tend to be very extreme in the moments, like you feel like I need to disappear for a year, but after 3 months, you're gonna get bored, you know what I mean? And kind of just like knowing that like there's a version of you that doesn't feel this way, and that version of you is approaching much faster than you think it is. You know what I mean? Towa, what about you? How do you feel about like expression in that way?
What was the question again?
It's like balancing this desire as an artist to be understood with also this like deep fear of being misunderstood.
Wow. That's a really difficult question. I think that it's really hard to feel entirely secure in oneself all the time, 100% of the time. So I do think it's a lot about like finding the things that make you feel grounded, and like what we were talking about, like friends, family, like whether it's your favorite food or like just being in places that make you feel like you're home, like going home. I think that is what personally like fills my cup and makes me feel normal and sane again, and then kind of refuels me to a point where I can go back out and sort of become the person who I want to be. But yeah, I definitely do think it's kind of like getting to hide away for a little bit too, and just like be in your own little room. And I love to be by myself. I really enjoy spending time alone. And if I don't have that, I find it, I really like being bored. And I think in a world where there's like, you're constantly stimulated by like your phone or like TV or whatever it is, like even just like books. I think that can stifle some of your creativity. And I think a lot of my creativity comes from just silence and peace, and then it's like my body is finally able to like generate ideas.
Do you feel like you write better alone?
A little bit of both. I like writing alone. I also love writing with people because, I grew up like in band rooms with like 5 boys, stinky, sweaty boys, like playing guitar, like drums, everything is like on 1,000.
Very Roderick Rules. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That's how I imagine it, yeah.
No, and you're imagining correctly.
I love that.
Yeah, so I like both, but in terms of like actually generating like conceptual ideas, I think being by myself is going to be the winner.
Interesting.
Being by myself.
What about you? Writing alone or with people, do you feel?
It depends. I feel like recently I've been doing a lot of writing alone, and I'm craving like a soundboard. I need somebody to be like, oh, no, let's try it again. I feel like it can get redundant writing alone because you're coming from the same perspective, the same experiences. Whereas like when you have somebody kind of like contradict you a little bit, it's kind of fun. Like it's kind of like, oh, well maybe not. Yeah, I like to be challenged, so I think writing with people, I prefer sometimes. It depends.
I like that. I'm not a songwriter, evidently. But at least for me, I don't know why, I've always felt like ideas come to me alone, but they're like refined in groups. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard to like think of something from nothing in a crowd of people. But then, like, the nugget of the idea, I'm like, wait, is this good? You know what I mean? You want to, like, show it to people.
Yeah, it's easier to put a bow on it with people.
I like that.
Feel like.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it's like also the doom scrolling. I feel like we all probably do that. Like, I'm guilty of it. And, like,
Totally.
the attention span is 0. And I feel like it's definitely a Gen Z thing where we're kind of just, like, constantly scrolling. We're constantly looking at, like, stimulating our brains. And it's like, girl, put the phone down, let's read a book, let's do a book club. You know what I mean?
There is very like interesting psychology about like why you're supposed to be bored. It's that you got some reading material, okay? It's so fascinating of like your brain is not supposed to have that much stimuli, and like part of creativity is like you don't have stimulus, so you like your brain makes things, and when we consume as much as we do now, like you make less things.
Yeah,
You know what I
like I when I was a kid, I used to daydream so much. I used to just like live in my head and like create stories about my schoolmates and like my friends and like my parents and just like people around me, and I would literally just like live in my head. And that's such a like, I never really do that anymore. I never like just sit and daydream. I used to do it so much at school.
Because you had to be there, and you were bored.
I was bored.
And that's part of it.
Let me write my own curriculum.
No, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
When
And
in
you're
the
like,
Mind
years
Palace.
from now, there will be this app called TikTok, and I will play guitar covers, and like, you mapped it all out exactly in that moment.
Yeah. I was like scrolling on TikTok. I got something better for you.
Yeah, totally. I want to go back to like a little bit of this discussion of like culture and community and impact, and like all of you are very openly queer, and that's
Queer?
Wait, did you guys not know?
Wait.
We have some news for you.
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We have some news. Yeah.
I'm a cis woman.
The Reverend gets up and leaves. But like, in this era, that is not the I think a thing that people felt as excited about as they did 10 years ago. How are you? I'd love to start with you, Yaz, as I think your story is unlike anything I've ever heard. Like, how are you navigating that as a human being?
I thought the dramatic pause would be a little.
No, you gagged. You ate it up.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. Sorry, back to it. I think. Wait, what was the question? Sorry,
No,
I was literally
it's
daydreaming.
hard,
I was
right?
Yeah, no.
And sometimes I forget while I'm saying them.
What
You
was
know
the-
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's talking about like in this, like a very big part, I think, of why people resonate with you and love you is the experience that you've been with, like as a queer person in
As a
your
trans
upbringing,
woman.
as a trans woman. Yeah, like how, as in this political climate, how do you feel the need to like that not being a thing that is appreciated culturally, while also having this like deep need to be authentic and understand that like that is why people who love you turn to you?
I think just, I'm never trying to be authentic, I just am.
I love that.
And that's been my whole life. And the word authenticity comes with a lot of trauma, because true authenticity for me started from when I was young. And unfortunately, people didn't respond to that. And I had to go through an intense amount of, like, I was alienized by everybody, my family, friends. I had no friends. And I had to really kind of love myself from the get-go and believe in this delusional world that I am who I am. And even though the world that I'm in right now doesn't quite understand that, like, I still know who I am. And I have literally been that way since I came out the womb. But it's tricky, because this version of me has taken a lot of doubt, a lot of pain, and a lot of like discovering and exploring. And I think a big part of like self-identity is that. And I need to just realize that there's going to be different versions. Like, we've all had different versions of us. Like, we're all like the fully evolved version now, but in 10 years we're going to be completely different with lines on our foreheads and everything. We're going to be older. And it's about, like, I think probably for me, it's about being present, not worrying about what society's like throwing on me, because they've been doing that from the jump, from Marsha P. Johnson to me. Like, they're gonna say whatever they want to say, so let them speak, let them
Hell
have
yeah.
their. Oh my God, guys, stop! Yeah.
No, that was so beautiful. You were nervous for nothing. That was maybe the best answer
It
of the
was a
night.
dramatic
Yeah.
pause.
It was a dramatic pause.
Hey, look, you're right. And it was all thanks to the dramatic pause.
Yes.
Dustin, how about you?
Whoa, I need that question again.
Okay, it's
You just ate. I'm just like, I don't know.
That's right. No, we were locked in.
Yeah.
She took us there.
She took us there.
It was about like, being an artist who understands that like what you have to do is rooted in your own storytelling and authenticity as a person, and like people love that about you. But also like part of that is with being queer, that is not a particularly welcomed thing and seemingly less welcome thing in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay true to yourself in the face of that?
I feel what you were saying on the trying to be authentic is an authentic tip. Like it's like just showing up in a room and existing is the most real thing anybody could do. I feel like, I feel like I try not to try too hard, and I feel like sometimes that's easier said than done. But like I do try to like just do what's instinctual, not try to like plan everything out and like map everything out, and that kind of stresses me out sometimes. I admire people that can do that, and like that's how like I feel like a lot of people I'm so sorry. Wow.
No. I completely agree with what you're saying. I also feel like I have this thing like anytime I start to like doubt myself, or I make something and I'm like, oh, it could be this way or that way or that way, and you like get trapped in all the ways something can be, to be like, you have to do the first one.
Yeah.
Like that is a rule that I place on myself, because I'm like, well, like idea 2, 3, 4, and 5 were built off of like, what is someone gonna think of this? But I know idea 1 was built off of like, I like this.
It was the feeling. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean? And I don't know, it's just like a rule that I've tried to like force myself to follow.
Yeah, but you were saying you were a Virgo. My best friend's a Virgo, and she's very like, she thinks a lot. And I'm very like sporadic and like chaotic. And I admire that so much about her, is she's like, I'll be somewhere she's 10 steps ahead thinking about, you know what I'm saying, just very meticulous and particular, and like, irritates me sometimes, of course, but I admire it. So yeah, I think there's beauty in both sides of it. I think like, it's instinctual.
Yeah, I love that. And I think instinct is always the right answer. Towa.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to piggyback off what you guys said, because I think you both summed it up beautifully. But it's like our existences are always kind of going to be innately political, and that even though we don't necessarily want that for ourselves. So I think just like being honest and being whole and being like so imperfect and beautiful in the ways that we are, I think is exactly the way to show up and be nuanced, and yeah.
Totally. So to close, like I want to talk about your stories. I think like Living Loud and like the idea of this series is not just about the destination, but the journey and what you all had to like do or get through or not do in order to get to where you are. I would love, it can be recent, it can be big, it can be small. Do you feel a defining moment of your career and like, this is it, this is what I want to be doing?
I just assumed, I didn't even know if you were looking at me. I just assumed I was first.
I love that. That's amazing.
I actually told you start. How about
What's your sign? What's your sign?
What'd you say?
What's your sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Okay.
Today's my birthday.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
You could have done something else. But thank you.
No,
Wait.
of course. I'm having a good time. This is fun. I don't regret it.
Oh.
Wait,
Having a great birthday.
how old are you turning?
26.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side.
What are you doing tonight after this? Better
I'm going
question.
roller skating.
Wow.
That's really wholesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to bust my ass. I'm so excited. It's going to be so fun. What was I saying?
Defining moment.
Honestly, not to toot my own horn, but I got nominated for a Grammy last year. And that was like one of those moments where I was just like, whoa, this is real. People care. Like, oh my goodness. Like, that was one of those moments I was just like, yeah, okay. this is my job and this is something I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Like, I feel like it's very like, it's hard to think about doing something forever sometime. Like, I'm like, okay.
Totally.
Yeah, for anybody. But like, that was one of the moments I was just like, yep, this is.
And
this is
many
my
more
shit.
to come.
And many more.
And many more to come.
So it is.
Yeah, how about you?
Wait, you go. I don't know.
I'm also like unsure of what my answer. Apart from tonight, obviously.
That's right. Apart from when we met.
Huh?
I said apart from when we met. The highlight of your life.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
Oh, I'm honored.
I'll never
Stop
forget it. I do want to say putting out my second album, like that was really cool. Like that was really cool.
What about it felt like?
It's just me. Like it's the whole album. It feels like the closest version that I can give to the public of myself.
The source material.
The source material. We tapped in.
You tapped in.
Yeah, and so I think putting out my second album.
I love that.
Yeah.
You didn't think you could get away, did you?
I'm just gonna go and say probably being cast in a Netflix show playing a trans girl globally around the world. Like, that was the start of my career and a big milestone for me, but not only for me, for the community. And I'm so happy that I'm able to now open doors, and the door is open. And for anybody that doesn't identify with the cis heteronormative way, you're welcome. You're welcome on Netflix. You're welcome on Prime. You're welcome
Exactly.
on Apple TV. Like,
Got
and
excited.
you will do it. You're next. And you will. And, you know, I'm an example of that, so.
My microphone died. Can we give a warm round of applause for her? And everyone, can we get a thank you, coach? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, coach.
Thank you, coach. Boo, 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 boo.
Yeah, it was really such an honor to have you all here tonight. It was so much fun. I got to talk to some amazing artists whom I loved and was very familiar with. And I hope you all enjoyed or learned something. But thank you for coming. This was so
Thanks,
meaningful,
guys.
and I hope like a nice moment of like real community. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, are we allowed to do that? I would love to. Hands? This is the hand I saw first, so I'm gonna go to you. No, you're okay.
Thank you. I kind of want to shift away from like the negative experience and like I wanted to ask if there was any defining experiences during your careers where you felt accepted and celebrated in your queerness, and if there's any way that you practice that in your own life to like provide that space for others.
Ooh, I like that question. I think this is a good example right here today. We're all together, and like if we look around us, like we're all here technically as like a community, and we can see it that way. And there's a beauty in the present, but also the fact that like we get to tell our story as being a part of the queer community, and having that being listened and heard to by you guys is literally like, it is everything. And it is so important that we listen to each other, we uplift each other, and this is a good moment to like reflect and just look around and be like, yeah, this is it.
1,000%. I agree. I mean, I have nothing else to say. Yeah, I agree. This is what it's all about. I feel like just like speaking and sharing our experiences. Like, I feel like even just hearing you guys talk, I learned so much about like y'all, and it applies to me as well. Like, I don't know. I think it's just beautiful that we get to do things like this for each other.
Yeah, I agree. And so I think for me, on a personal note, like I have such an amazing group of friends that are all so gay.
Yes.
And, like, you know, like that's the shit that I dreamed of when I was a kid. Like there are like 13 lesbians in the group chat. It's crazy. Like the gossip is insane. And I'm like, I don't know, I just like to be able to cultivate that for myself, like moving to this country with like no family here, and being able to create that for myself, not to gas myself, but like it's really special to have such a beautiful community that I know I can go to for literally anything and they have my back.
And how beautiful to get to like choose your family.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
Do we have any other questions? No, you had it. Oh, you have a microphone. Please, that would be amazing.
Hi, okay, is it okay if I just ask Towa a question, or is it maybe for all three?
Go for it.
Okay. So Towa, my favorite song from your new album is Victoria, and I want you to like talk about like your like walking through and how you wrote that song.
Oh my God, yeah, that's one of my favorite songs off my album. Just for context, it's like, it's a ballad, and it's one of the only ballads I've ever written in my life. And it's about childhood. It's about growing up, being gay, and it's about like the how tumultuous that can be, and kind of also feeling as though like I don't necessarily deserve to be here, yet I am here, and then what my life could have been if I didn't choose to be open and choose to live the way that I have. And yeah, so to answer your question, it took me like, it was the longest amount of time that I spent ever writing a song. So it took me a while, and yeah, it was like so much soul searching. Like I had to go back through all my childhood, man. I was like, it was so tiring and so exhausting, and I like in a way that I put my whole self into that song. So I think that's why a lot of people like it, and it's also one of my favorites, because I kind of had to distill all of that down into a 3-minute piece of music, and that's really difficult. But yeah, I love that song. So thank you for asking, and thank you for listening. That's really sweet.
Hi guys, my question was, I know maybe you guys touched on it a little bit, the fact that you're all Gen Z, right? And I wondered, as a millennial, I know things that make me different from the other generations, and I'm wondering what you think stands out, like as Gen Z, like what makes you Gen Z, what's something you're really proud of, what's something that you think maybe you're the best at?
I think what comes to mind first is our dialect, the way we talk.
It's like humor.
Clock
The humor.
it, clock it, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like we just have our little like isms, and it's like it's tight. Like I don't know. I feel like low key like the Gen Z girls could like have the whole conversation, and the millennial girls would not know what the fuck we're talking about. Like just based off like the lingo that like we've created, especially in the queer community. Like I feel like we honestly we make everything. So I feel like yeah, that's one of the things like yeah. The key, the talk.
We grew up on Vine. That was the difference.
Right. It's the internet. I blame the internet.
It was the internet.
Yeah.
It was Vine.
Yeah.
She
I think,
changed
and it's
everything.
not just the internet, but like remembering life before and after the internet, I think is very, like growing up with it, but also like vividly remembering when your family had just like a desktop computer in the corner. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Did you guys have dial-up?
Have what?
Dial-up internet?
What?
And I'm Gen Z.
I did not.
Okay, well, I mean, I lived in Thailand, so we were moving slow a little bit.
You were dialing up.
We were dialing up.
You were dialing up.
But that's a millennial thing, isn't it? Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. Where it's like my sister's like on the phone, and I'm like, get the off the phone so I can watch a YouTube video that's like 5 seconds long. It takes me 20 minutes to load.
Yeah, see, this was not my struggle, but I'm happy you had that experience.
Maybe I'm getting old. Who knows?
That's right. Oh, and we get one more question?
2 more, yeah.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. My name's Rafi. Oh, sorry. As queer creatives, Pride is almost over, but like society in general and like industry and brands have been like rolling back support of queer people. What do you think brands, industry, and society at large can do to support queer creatives all year long besides Pride Month?
Oh my God, do this. What Coach is doing, like this. Yeah, let's clap for that.
Yeah.
Like this is like everything. It's unheard of, really, for a brand to be so heavily involved in platforming Gen Z voices. And I think that's really the key. And I think what Coach does so well is it marries in fashion with the Gen Z life experience, and it's the true Gen Z life experience, like our day-to-day, our identity, our self-expression, and they do it really well. So I think that would probably be the main thing. Just do what Coach does.
All year round.
Correct.
Yeah. Platform queer artists.
Yeah, Pride Month is almost over, but not here.
Oh, what's your side?
Right.
Okay, Aries. Confusing though. Confusing.
Is that a water sign?
No,
or
it's
a fire,
Fire.
baby.
Oh, sorry, don't cancel me.
Love and Aries. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, beautiful people. Hey. Thank you so much for taking some time and spending with us. I'm Elia, and I wanted to know from all four of you, actually, how do you guys, I know you guys have your sense of identity when you make your art go through TV and your music. I want to know how you guys secure and how to put this together. Keep true to yourself in your art, especially when you guys are really, really white, cis space, studio execs, networks, and just dealing with all that. I just want to know how you keep true to yourself, especially when you have execs and people in suits just, trying to put you one way, but you know how you're feeling inside. Just, listening to your gut, throughout everything, and there's a white male telling you no. I just want to know how you guys keep true to that.
Good question. Okay, I guess I should answer it first. Huh? Personally, I'm independent.
Okay. Yes.
Not gonna be independent forever. I will be signing my life away soon. But for now, I'm independent, so I don't necessarily have to report to anybody. I could make a fart song tomorrow and put it out if I wanted to.
I would listen to that.
Yeah. Give me ideas. But I do feel like, kind of what Towa was saying earlier about like, I tried to listen to the music that I loved before I was making music to remind myself that like, of why I do it. Like, I listen to people that inspire me when I'm feeling a little like iffy or like caring about what somebody else would think, or like my managers, for example. Like, I think I try to just remind myself of like why I do it. And that looks like listening and looking at the people that inspired me to do it.
I try to get baby pictures of me, and I know this is, it is what it is, but I tried to get a baby picture, and I look at it, and I remember the fear I was feeling, and the place I was at then, and how I really didn't want to wake up, how I really was struggling through my day by day. And it gets me through every single time. Because that version, that child inside, it comes out sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes she's still going through it, but I know that I've got me, and I know that I'm gonna be okay. And I think when I'm on set, especially like you're right, it is predominantly white, especially on like film and TV. It is very that. So you have to kind of go in and just be your best self and know that everybody is there to kind of, hopefully for the right reasons, and not worry about anything else. And again, that little kid inside of you is always going to fangirl over you. Like, if you look back at 10 years ago, like, every single one of us, like, it's amazing how far you can come if you truly believe in yourself. And yeah, just pour some love into yourselves, guys. Like, literally, it's the main thing. It's the thing that we all need to embed within our lives. Loving us first. Like what RuPaul said, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else?
Amen.
Amen.
You're good. Yeah, she's got a good answer. She's got a good answer. You should do like acting or something.
Yeah, maybe act.
I don't know, I tried, but it's not for me.
The only thing I'll add is like with dealing like the corporate side of it all, like what you're talking about, is like, don't keep asking questions to somebody you know is gonna say no. Find the person who's gonna say yes. Like, I think that is like something I had to learn very early on in my career of like, there are some people who will never learn. There are some people who don't want to learn. There are some people who don't want to listen. It is not your job to like fix them, and you can't. What you can do is find the person or the mentor who will say yes. And think of it that way. Just, they're a lost cause. You can find someone better, I promise.
Yeah, and also, last thing, I think just like trusting your instinct. Like if you make something and you like really believe that it's good, and if you're in the process of making it and you're not thinking about how other people are going to receive it, and you're like, no, this is amazing, and you have someone look at it or listen to it and they're like not that excited, you're right. It's not the right person.
It's like, not, and someone will get it.
Someone will get it.
Someone will get it. Yeah. And I think that's all the questions we're allowed to take. But guys, thank you so much for coming. And thank you, Coach, again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Happy birthday,
Clock
Destin.
in. Clock in. I don't know why I'm obsessed with saying that now.